This video is sponsored by Squarespace, so if you need a website, a domain or an online store, make your next move with Squarespace and use the discount code Marr.
G'day there guys, I am making my way up the west coast of Western Australia. The plan is to get to Exmouth in a couple of days. I'm driving up currently with my son Lachlan, and we've stopped the first night in Kalbarri. I've taken a couple of shots before at Kalbarri. I've done a couple of videos, so if you want to check those out, I'll put a link up here so you can check those videos out. We're only stopping here for the night, so we've got this afternoon. It's approximately 6 o'clock. Sunset is for about 7:15, so we've got roughly an hour before sunset, probably 45 minutes before we need to find the composition that I'm going to capture. So we've got a little bit of time just to explore. I've been exploring in amongst the rocks here. I've decided to come down to Mushroom Rock, and Mushroom Rock was the first location I took a photo of down in Kalbarri. It's part of these set of beautiful sandstone cliffs that Kalbarri is really well known for. So I'm juggling a couple of things here. One is, because I'm down at Mushroom Rock, I haven't actually taken a photo of Mushroom Rock itself. I've taken a little bit of video of it, so you would have seen it. It's this rock that is kind of balanced on another boulder and looks a bit like a mushroom. But I've never actually taken a photo of it, so I was kind of thinking it would be nice to grab a shot with the rock actually in it. The other thing that I'm juggling is the clouds. Now, we had a cloudless sky all day up until around about 20 minutes ago, and these clouds have started to roll in pretty much from the south, which is really nice, and the majority of them are over the sea, which is behind you. So behind me, oh no, there's a few clouds up there in the sky, but if I turn you around here, there are a lot more clouds in the sky. They're pretty low, so they might actually block out the sun rather than reflect any of the sunset light or colour. But the fact that there's clouds there, it's pretty good. But the bit that I'm juggling is the majority of the clouds are over the sea and probably to the south rather than the north. The third thing I am juggling is this extraordinary wind that we've got. I've got the microphone on, I've got the dead cat over there, so hopefully the audio is fine. But the winds are strong. They're around about 50 kilometres an hour, gusting to 60 to 65 here. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to come down into one of these little bays or little canyons. You can see where we've walked through here, because it's nice and protected. And if I can get up against the south side, because that's where the wind is coming from, and kind of point north, that would be great. But the majority of the clouds are to the south. So I'm juggling all of this and trying to find a composition at the same time. So I'm going to get straight back into it, a bit more exploring, and when I find a shot, I'll let you know.
Like a clown at the circus, I sometimes find myself juggling ideas as I'm weighing up the conditions. But that's not all bad. I actually don't mind that. It's one of the challenges I enjoy.
So I've been exploring this area. This is just slightly to the north of Mushroom Rock, and it's where the water comes right up into the gorge here. There's a little bit of sand and a couple of large boulders with some smaller rocks as well. And I'm faced out pretty much, we're facing westwards where the sun is setting, but I'm pretty much facing Mushroom Rock. So behind me I've got this little cliff that goes out. That there is Mushroom Rock. Back here is where the sun actually is, so that's where it's setting. So as you can see, once it goes behind here, this cliff here is going to be actually quite dark, so I'm just not too sure whether it's going to make a good shot or not. The good thing about this angle is I've got the clouds just across the top there, so if they pick up some of the colour, this will be quite good. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to get up to the south side of this area, have a bit more of a look, and if I can't find anything there, I'm going to come back here and take this shot, because I think it'll be quite a nice shot with mushroom rock. I can see it kind of on the left-hand side on that third line. Be quite nice, and we've got this little bay here if I can get some action here with the water. A good place to come back to. If I can't find anything else, if I do find a shot up there, I might see if I can come back here after the sun has set and take a shot here anyway. So that's my thinking.
Sometimes you've just got to make a decision. Let's face it, it's better to make a decision and not be right than not make a decision and still not be right. There was a lot more energy in the ocean on this side of the rock, which could mean a better image. Let's hope. As I take on the rougher conditions, I'm hoping the composition at least is going to be a bit easier and I can get a shot of that mushroom rock.
Alright, so I've got a little bit of a dilemma. I'm right round on the southern side, so I've got the wind belting past me. I'm trying to protect the microphone with my body. So I've come round to the south side of Mushroom Rock. I'm actually standing on a rock that I photographed before. It was covered in water, so I couldn't have got down here before. So it's really interesting. I'm down here standing on this platform of rock, looking up towards Mushroom Rock here, and if I get really, really close to it, it gets higher in the sky relative to me, and I can actually get it above the horizon. So I've just got the blue sky behind it, and that allows me to get some separation, but it really doesn't make a particularly good photo. I'll show you what I mean. So forget the fact that my shadow is just here. Hello. I've got the rock there, and you can see that it's above the horizon now, there, but I really don't have much in the foreground, and of course, other than the fact that my shadow is going to be here, it doesn't really make a particularly good shot. So I'm now going to move a little bit further away from Mushroom Rock, come back a little bit, and there's these salt patterns on the ground, which could actually make quite a good foreground interest. But now you've got Mushroom Rock just there, and because it's not above the horizon, you've got the rock cliffs behind it, you just completely lose it. It just disappears in amongst all the other rock and cliff faces that are in the shot. So unfortunately that's not going to work either.
This is not the first time I've had to change my plans, and it won't be the last. Adaptability is the name of the game. Read your conditions and find your composition.
So I've given up on trying to take a shot of Mushroom Rock from this side. I've turned around and looked back up the coast. So I'm managing a couple of things at the one time. I've got this roaring sea in front of me, and it's crashing away over some rocks, and it looks really dramatic. So I thought with the light on the right-hand side, casting some light over the cliffs, and a little bit of colour in the clouds, which have unfortunately just disappeared a little bit to the right and out to sea to the west. But it's catching a little bit of light. So what I'm doing is I've got a polarizer on the front taking a lot of the glare off the water. I've got a 0.9 soft grad that I'm taking some of the light out on the top and to the right hand side where the sky is in the shot, and it's bringing out some of the colour of that setting sun, which is still above the horizon. I haven't got the sun in the shot, it's just out of shot. and it means that I haven't got the image isn't blown out over there. But I'm just going to take a couple of shots here. I'm currently on ISO 100. My aperture is 11, and it's at 11 even though this is the GFX, it's the medium format sensor. If I had anything close in the foreground, I'd have to bracket my shot, but I've got nothing close to the camera in the foreground, so f11's quite good. I'm focused on a rock which is around about halfway into the shot, so f11's going to be pretty good. And my shutter speed at the moment is around about half a second, but I'm bracketing it. I've got the camera set up, so I'm taking one shot at around about half a second, and then the camera is automatically bracketing a stop either side of that. Because there's just so much going on, I'm bracketing the shots, so either I can merge those shots together in Lightroom, or I can just pick the shot that looks the best when I get the images in Lightroom. I'm having to quickly protect the lens with a rag. In fact, I've got two rags. This is the one that I've chosen to protect. This is the wet one at the moment. It's getting most of the sea spray, so the waves crash in front of me and then just the sea spray comes in over me. So I'm trying to protect the front of the lens as much as possible. So as you can see, there's a lot going on. And it's getting darker and darker. It looks like the sun is about to set behind just a thin bank of cloud right on the horizon. So unfortunately, we weren't going to get that fantastic light on the clouds above. Just going to check the front for some sea spray. That's looking pretty good.
I took roughly 20 shots while I was there. I ended up taking 2 of the shots at different shutter speeds and merging them together in Lightroom. To grab the details out of the cliffs, as well as protect those highlights on the horizon. This shot was really set up with the cliffs and the clouds pretty much coming in at similar angles from either side, and this dynamic water in the foreground. But the shot I ended up picking was one with the water streaming over these rocks, because it's this interaction within the landscape that I'm looking for.
Looks like I've made the most of the light here. I'm going to pack up, quickly whip around to that other side and see whether I can grab that other shot.
Before we get to the next image, I just want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video. No matter what level you're at with your photography, a website is a fantastic tool to help you grow, both as a photographer as well as a business. And Squarespace has got to be the easiest platform for building amazing looking websites that I've come across, and I've been using them for years. The way that the templates are designed, they make your images stand out without you having to do anything. Just upload them, no need for any code. And you can start building an audience by just adding a blog, and in just a few clicks, you can be ready to be publishing posts about your own photography journey. Your website can also be extended with an online store that integrates easily with payment gateways. So the process of selling a product or even a service is made really easy. So head on over to squarespace.com for a free trial. That'll give you heaps of time to set up your website. And when you're ready to launch, make sure you go to squarespace.com/Andrew Marr to get 10% off your first purchase.
All right, so it was a bit of a mad dash over this cliff, but we've managed to get here just with enough light. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of colour. The colour from the setting sun just disappeared almost immediately once it went behind the cloud. But I've got this. I've been experimenting a little bit with the composition here. The challenge that I have with the GFX is I've only got one lens, and that's the 32-64, and it's not very wide. So typically for seascapes, I like to have quite a dynamic foreground, and for that I like using a wide lens. This is the equivalent of a 24-70, I think, 25-70, something like that. So I like to go a little bit wider. I tend to like to go a little bit wider, or have that freedom. I can be shooting, 20 mil or even 17, 16 mil. So I've got it on 32 mil at the moment, which is as wide as it can get. I've taken one shot already with the camera low to the ground and really close to a series of rocks that are just coming out of the water and are buried in the sand. And I think the contrast between the rock and the sand makes a really nice foreground. And then I've got mushroom rock in the background on the 1/3 line in from the left, and it's really nicely separated. It's silhouetted pretty much with the light from the sun that has already set behind it. So it's pretty much in darkness, but it'll be interesting to see how much colour I can get out of either mushroom rock itself or the cliff that it's sitting on, because I can see on the back of the screen there's still a little bit of red and some of those textures are coming through. Once I took that shot, I came back a couple of meters, only about 2 or 3 meters, and the composition has changed completely, where I've got this little bit of sand and the rocks and the boulders coming in from the left-hand side. I've still got mushroom rock on the left as well, 1/3 in. I've got the horizon on the 1/3 from the top, and I've got this dynamic water that's flowing in and out, coming from the bottom right and coming in from the bottom left and flowing through to the right-hand side. So I'm going to experiment a little bit more with that. Once I've taken this shot, I'm probably going to turn it around and put it into portrait mode, just so I can get a little bit more of the foreground below the camera. Anyway, that is pretty much it, because after that the sun will have disappeared. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give the video a like. I hope you get out real soon for some landscape photography yourself. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.